on the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. This is where we look at the latest headlines in music, tech, and what's going on in the industry. We'll be starting the program in just a few moments, but first, some notes about today's program. Feel free to invite your friends to join in this show, and if you'd like to offer your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to join the stage and participate in the discussion, or comment in the chat in the video stream. You can find all of today's headlines on our website, musicindustrycity.com. Just head to the latest Music News at Noon post to see all the articles we referenced during today's broadcast. You can also register for free to get unlimited access to all the articles, news, and events in the city. And you may also watch us live on the video stream right from the website or on the Music Industry City YouTube channel. All right, is everybody ready? We begin our countdown right now.
Hello and welcome. It's great to have you with us on this Thursday. I'm Peter Schwing, and here's what's happening. Quincy Jones' emotional AI startup is acquired. Bandzoogle makes an acquisition. Napster reports their first half earnings. Sony expands their wellness plan for artists. And the Instagram Reels, well, they're now on Facebook. Plus, our daily Spotify update. Those stories are coming up, but first, let's take a look at this day in history with Eli Window. Eli.
All right, thanks so much, Peter. Let's take a look at this day in music history. On September 30th, 1977, Mary Ford died from cancer after being in a diabetic coma for 54 days. One half of the husband and wife musical team, Les Paul and Mary Ford, and between 1950 and 1954, this couple had 16 top 10 hits. In 1951 alone, they sold 6 million records. In 2011, American guitarist and songwriter Marv Tarplin died, age 70. He was best known as the guitarist for The Miracles. Breaking news, Billboard has just announced that George Frayne, leader of Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen, died Sunday in Saratoga Springs, New York. He was 77 years old. In memory. Moving on to birthdays. Born on this day, 1935, U.S. singer Johnny Mathis. And in 1943, singer Marilyn McCoo. In 1946, Sylvia Peterson from American all-girl group The Chiffons. And in 1947, one of the pioneers of the glam rock movement, Mark Bolan, born Mark Feld, best known as the lead singer of the glam rock band T-Rex. And in 1964, Trey Anastasio from the band Fish. Happy birthday, everyone. Moving on to this day in history. On September 30th, 1974, police were called to a Lynyrd Skynyrd and Blue Oyster Cult concert after a fight broke out between two sound engineers. The Skynyrd roadie claimed that the sound had been deliberately turned off during the band's set. And in 2016, a schoolboy from Philadelphia who skipped class to meet his musical hero handed his teacher an absence note with a difference. The typewritten note was signed by Bruce Springsteen. Fifth grader Michael Fentry met the star at a meet and greet in the Free Library of Philadelphia when Springsteen was in his town signing copies of his new autobiography, Born to Run. And that's it for On This Day in Music History. Back over to you, Peter.
All right, thank you for that. I mean, yeah, I love when Bruce does things like that. I mean, we've talked about other stories of him showing up. He showed up at a bar, ended up just jamming with the bar band, and then paid the barmaids $100,000, like donated $100,000 to her medical bills. So
These are the headlines in music history that we love to hear, right?
Yeah, always good. Always good to hear. All right. With that, to set the stage for a discussion, we provide informed perspectives and commentary on current headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, you can request to join the stage. I'd also like to say hi to everyone viewing the show in our video live stream on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and directly from the Music Industry City website. To stay up to date on this and other programming, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for more news, articles, and events. And especially the October 14th event. So go check out the homepage. There's a big event starting on October 14th. You don't want to miss out. And with that, let's get to it. All right. And Music Business Worldwide reported Quincy Jones-backed emotional AI startup Musimap is acquired by Utopia Music. At the start of September, the firm made the high-profile appointment of Downtown's former EVP of Business Development, Roberto Neri, as Chief Operating Officer, followed by other big hires, including Paul Gathercole as Chief Data Officer, Asa Karlid as Head of Platform, and Paul Stewart as Chief Legal Officer. Now, the firm has purchased Musimap, a Quincy Jones-backed emotional data enrichment startup. The firm's API uses proprietary AI to generate emotional metadata for clients. This can be used to search for similar songs, automatically create playlists based on certain genres, moods, etc., and match playlists with personality profiles. Musimap now has three key products: Musimatch, Musimotion, and Musime. With clients like Universal Music Group, Vivo, Warner, BMG, and others, Utopia claims to be on a mission to change global music consumption, monitoring, and royalty payments. It claims its technology provides never-before-seen access and reporting depth. This will, quote, advance creators' rights and enable new opportunities for the recording business, according to Utopia. Anytime we can change global music consumption, but, monitor and royalty payments, that sounds like, something I am fully for, and many others are as well. We're going to talk about a few acquisitions at the head here. And this is from Hits Daily Double. Hi-Fi acquires the Music Fund. With artificial intelligence powering a smart pricing algorithm, the Music Fund offers musicians innovative funding solutions depending on their music streaming performance while retaining 100% of their copyrights and future earnings. The partnership expands Hi-Fi's artist finance options, which already tracks hundreds of millions in royalties. John Fungi and Thomas Gerdy, co-founders of the Music Fund, will join Hi-Fi as CTO and VP of Data Science, respectively. Fungi said, quote, our prediction model enables us to underwrite a variety of short-term financing solutions to artists at absolutely no risk to them, empowering them to record music, go on tour, or market current projects without having to sign away any long-term rights. We're looking forward to leveraging our automated valuation model to deliver an entirely new class of innovative financial products to the music creator community. Thousands of artists and their teams use Hi-Fi's royalties dashboard, which includes a cash flow product that pays artists bi-monthly based on expected royalty income. This all starts tying in together with what we're seeing throughout the industry. We're seeing consolidation. We've had all this. We've had years of expansion, startups. Now we're starting to see this consolidation as platforms are coming together to offer multiple services. And the first two articles had AI reference. We're going to be talking AI's here, blockchain, all that NFTs. That's a different thing than the blockchain. Blockchain is certainly here. NFTs are here. We have to see what's going to happen with them. But what we're talking about here, what we're seeing a lot of, is these investment platforms that are based on, and this, it started a few years ago, but now we're starting to see this really come to fruition of being able to act in sense as an investor. And artists can also invest. There's other platforms where artists can invest into, the fans can invest into their artists. And, Blau is doing something where artists can buy the NFT and invest in a song, and he'll select, I think it was like selecting 300 artists. And every time his song makes money, the artists get money. So all this coming together is going to be really interesting to see, how the cash flow moves. And this is, we're talking in 10 years, this is going to be how it is. And it's not just going to be, it's that creator economy with the ecosystem built in with the tools at their fingertips. Yes, if you're an completely do it all yourself, DIY artists, it's challenging because you still have to pay attention to what's going on Instagram and TikTok and how do I get there and how do I get fans and how do I make more content and whatever the platform du jour is. And we're going to talk about Facebook and Instagram later on as well. So it's hard keeping up with these, and hopefully, that's what we try to help do by just doing the news here, is just keep you informed in the little tidbits of, just kind of pay attention to some of the things that are going on. So if anybody's had any experience, in seeing what's going on or want to offer any of their thoughts, feel free to jump on the stage. All right. And well, look, another acquisition. From digital music news, Bandzoogle acquires DJ-focused website building platform SoundJam. Bandzoogle, which recently announced a partnership with on-demand printing firm Printful in 2021, has just now announced the SoundJam.co acquisition. In a short statement, SoundJam members will have, quote, access to Bandzoogle's wide range of features for promoting their music and engaging their fans. New SoundJam users will be directed to use the Bandzoogle platform. The parties say it costs the same as Bandzoogle's light subscription on SoundJam, which is $8.29 per month. That's US dollars. So that up-and-coming DJs may strengthen their careers. SoundJam aspires to become a one-stop shop for DJs in the future. Bandzoogle CEO Stacey Bedford said, "We are excited that SoundJam members will be joining the thousands of DJs already using Bandzoogle's best-in-class website building and direct-to-fan tools." So SoundJam, which was created in 2019 by Tom Watts and Hadi Hanna of Digital Heroes, and Watts confirmed the transaction in a statement. A relationship with Bandzoogle, the market leader in website builders, would allow SoundJam to grow faster and help thousands of DJs more swiftly. So again, consolidation, different platforms come together to offer packaged services. This is going to be a trend. It's something that we've seen this consolidation probably about last set of consolidation like this we're seeing is probably around late 2000s, early 10s, somewhere around there. But we've had, these other type of platforms. And sometimes it works, and many times, unfortunately, we've seen in the past it hasn't. But also was that maybe the technology wasn't readily available or as advanced, and the user experience wasn't quite there. So with the the way things are going, I think these are good opportunities for artists to be able to, especially again going back to the DIY, do it all yourself, or with a small team, is being able to centralize as much as you can and just limit to a few platforms. So I feel these tools benefit when you have certain consolidation, and then we'll see another round of expansion in the new platforms, and we'll be talking about Web 4.5 in a few years. All right. Well, speaking of acquisitions that happened already, this is Napster reports $44.2 million revenue for the first half of 2021. Yes, Napster, in case people don't remember, Napster still is a thing. It's just a different thing, and that would be with Rhapsody. And now with Melody VR. So with the merger completed with Melody VR, Napster offered its first half-year figures for the combined company. It reported revenues of around $44.2 million, that's U.S., for the first half of 2021, although cost of sales and 20.1 million pounds of administration expenses helped to ensure that the company recorded an operating loss of about $16 million US and a net loss of around $18 million. Year-on-year revenue comparisons aren't that useful since year-ago period was just Melody VR, and they had 189,000 pounds of revenues in the first half of 2020, and I totally flipped on the U.S. dollars to Great British Pounds conversion there for you. Apologize about that. We'll keep it easier and we'll keep it back over to U.S. dollars. For Napster revenues, we have to go back to its previous majority owner, Real Networks, which reported last year that Napster generated $49.6 million of revenues in the first half of 2020 while recording an operating loss of $2.3 million. So, CEO Anthony Matchett announced that, quote, "We have seen our monthly global streams increase by 18% per user in the first half of 2021. The company appears to have work to do to tip Napster's revenue back into growth." So if anybody's familiar, just goes back to this Melody VR merger acquisition. Melody VR headsets, VR, it says it in the name. But what their goal was to bring in the streaming platform to be able to combine these two services to really offer more to their members. What has been yet to be seen is how this is being incorporated. And especially with other platforms out there that are already making these, large deal structures with VR platforms or metaverses. And we just talked about Warner, making the deal with Roblox, and we're going to see a lot more of this. It's still going to be, I feel it's still going to be a challenge here because when you have Warner's dollars, it's a lot easier. And same with Roblox, Epic, Fortnite, all of that. And with that, let's check in with Eli.
All right, thanks, Peter. Let's check in with me, and please check in with your friends as well. Feel free to invite them to the show. Your friends can participate in the conversation the same as you by requesting to come to the stage or by commenting in the chat if you are watching in the video live stream. And hi to our viewers. Make sure that you follow your co-host. You'll be alerted when they're live. You can also watch the video live stream right from our website and access other content and articles, including our weekday 5-minute music industry news podcast, which keeps you up to date on items that may not be covered here, such as new releases, tours, musical chairs, business, and tech news, all in 5 minutes or less. We'd like to thank you again so much for tuning into the Music News at Noon at 12 Eastern from New York each and every Monday through Thursday weekday. Now we move on to our next headline. We see that Sony expands wellness plan for artists. With more on this headline, we go back to Peter Schwing. Peter.
All right, thank you for that. All right, and this is from Hits Daily Double. Sony Music is expanding its Artist Forward program with the opening of Artist Assistance that offers access to free, confidential counseling services to address stress, anxiety, depression, grief, family, and relationship matters. Active roster artists around the world can connect with a dedicated licensed therapist at no cost, and use the program. Use of the program is completely confidential, according to a letter Sony sent out. Susan Moultrie has returned to Sony Music as the main point of coordination for the program. She'll be Senior Vice President of Artist Initiatives and Business Administration. She goes on to say, quote, "This is a broad global effort aimed at promoting wellness for our signed talent and providing them with relevant information and key resources for their careers." The letter also states Sony is also developing a global program for newly signed artists to provide them with expanded information and resources about being a member of the Sony Music roster, as well as best practices to maximize the promotion and success of their releases. It will cover a variety of topics, including how Sony Music works with its artists to secure music placements with our digital partners, how to avoid pre-release leaks, and how to prevent last-minute creative changes due to clearance issues, among others. Finally, it says, additionally, we will further enhance our resources focused on answering artist and participant questions around earning statements, payments, and how Sony Music's artist portal and data analytics tools work. So, this is really, it's great to see, Sony announced this, and, it would be great to see others follow suit with this wellness program. I mean, so many corporations out there in tech, finance, they have in-house or they have resources for health and wellness. And to see this being, taking an initiative in the music industry is so important. And it's great to see the fact that this is, an initiative that they're even expanding upon. And because we talk about this too much, we talk about the stresses. I mean, the creative, being a creative, entertainment, music, whatever it is, it takes its toll. There's a lot of these stresses and pressures, and being able to have somebody to speak with, and also the fact that they're really helping to onboard into the family is really great. And that's going to be helpful. Hopefully, we'll see some others labels follow suit. All right, we're going to move over to IQ Mag. As Prodiss launches cancellation insurance policy. The French Live Music Association has negotiated 2 tailor-made insurance options with Aon, an entertainment-focused insurance broker, and Arias Marif, a French movie insurer. The first solution covers cancellation risk for producers, concert promoters, and festival organizers at pre-agreed costs, with an option to cover unavailability of COVID-19 related personnel. The second alternative, likewise with competitive price, is geared to cover venue losses. Prodiss told IQ Mag that it will not pay for the contracts, but will only distribute them to its members, and the group would not provide any further terms. Live Nation France Festival, Live Nation SAS, and Mama are among Prodiss' 400 members. And the French government announced in February a framework and a €30 million fund to compensate festival organizers for damages incurred owing to introduction of alternative formats and festival cancellations due to the rising COVID-19 infection rates. Insurance schemes have already been announced in the UK for £800 million. Germany has €2.5 billion. Austria, €300 million. Netherlands, $300 million. Belgium, $60 million. Norway, 34. Denmark, that'd be 500 million kroner. And Estonia at €6 million. Yeah, so it's great to see that, there's, I hope maybe the U.S. could learn, take a step from here, take a page from this, and about some cancellation insurance. This has been the challenge. I mean, the UK has been talking about this since last December, so it's almost been a full year of that. All right. Let's talk about some for production. LANDR accelerates Atmos availability for labels and artists. So they announced a new service for labels, music producers, and artists. They can now get tracks upmastered into Atmos by LANDR. They can use a semi-automated method led by an audio specialist, or they can engage with a LANDR network professional engineer for more sophisticated custom mixes. I like this. I just want to go test it out. I just want to go write some tracks and just test it out, because for people like, the fact that Atmos is here, and like Apple was saying that 40 million people have already started using checking it out. So this is another thing that's here, and it's good to get on top of this. So LANDR Upmastering is what it's called, has been crafted under the sonic supervision of David Rowland, a producer and engineer of Oscar-winning, Grammy-nominated project, and LANDR's head of strategy, and Matt Geiler, renowned Atmos film trailer mixer and of Spider-Man, No Way Home, Venom, Jumanji, and numerous other immersive mixes for Apple, Sony, Paramount, Netflix, Disney, Warner, and Amazon. So they got some credentials here. There are Atmos renditions of new releases and catalog favorites on key music services like Apple, Tidal, and Amazon, and on popular devices like AirPods Pros and Sonos. So basically what LANDR CEO Pascal Pilon says is Atmos is becoming an essential format and is increasingly in demand. We wanted to offer this service as soon as possible, knowing that Atmos would really likely be required by many creators. We're making Atmos versions of a full library or a new EP more accessible. And they're talking about saying it's going to be $100 per track, but for the month of October, they'll say it's $75, and that will expand the access to Atmos for more creators and scale the content available in the new format. Is anybody here in a producer that has used LANDR for mastering or anything, mixing, mastering, anything? Just let us know. Feel free to raise your hand. All right, we're going to move over to Instagram Reels. Oh, I think we have somebody up here.
We are welcoming Kevin to the stage. Kevin, did you have a comment for us on this headline?
Yeah, we use LANDR. Like, our whole team actually uses it. And I would suggest anybody who's looking to use the service to use it that way, is to just kind of go in on it with a couple of friends and share the password, almost like, how you do on Netflix. And then, you can make like little folders and you can go in there and master everything. I mean, it's really quick. It does a good enough job, and it works.
Right. I remember when it first started out, like anything, any new technology, it was like, okay, wow, that's interesting. It was good. I'm like, wow, this is much better than I could do, and really quick. And it was fast. But then it would be like a little bit inconsistent, and then you could ask it to redo it, and then it would be like really inconsistent. And then over time, it just learned, and it became really good. Especially a lot of EDM, electronic producers use it. What is the style that the genres that you use it for?
Mostly stuff for sync, so just stuff that's going to wind up on TV, or in ads. Yeah. So it's multi-genre, but in terms of like the platform where it's going to end up is there.
Right on. Yeah, no, that's great to hear. So, I know a few others that use it, so this is good. And now you'll be able to get everything in Atmos.
Yeah, did they specify whether like you have to have an Atmos mix and upload that mix, or is it taking a stereo mix and turning like how is it working exactly?
It doesn't really get into that. I mean, the actual article, if you want to go to, you can go to Music Industry City and click on .com and click on the today's show notes, which is just the music industry news at noon, and there'll be the link to the actual article because we're just paraphrasing some of the areas, so it might get into a little deeper, or there's some links in there that'll take you to their source as well. So, that is interesting. That is a good question.
Word, yeah, and I'll get on the site a little later. I'll just shoot you a message to let you know like what I have access to on the actual LANDR
Oh
page.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, give us get back to us. We'll send you out. Here's your mission if you choose to accept it.
Mission accepted.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that, Kevin. All right, we're going to move on. Just going over to Instagram Reels. This is from The Verge. Instagram Reels are now widely available on Facebook in the U.S. Not, just because we need another social platform to have every other social aspect and feature. And now it's like, wait, do I post a TikTok? Wait, do I take my TikTok and after I make it a TikTok, I make it an Instagram? So if I post it on Instagram Reels, is that automatically published to my Facebook? Well, is it Facebook Reels? But then I want to put something on, what was that thing that lasted about a month on Twitter? They had their fleets. Yeah, that lesson. And then there's LinkedIn. I mean, shorts. Maybe I make it a short on YouTube, so you can see where I'm going with this. It's another platform, another another service, another area of confusion, and just is it? My question here, before I even get into the article, my question is just this diluting everything too much? I mean, that's that. I'm not even starting the article yet. And I'm already like, are we just diluting everything? Like, I don't know what, like, or is this like the Goliaths, or like, well, we just need to have everything, so we'll get those people over from TikTok. Well, TikTok's 1 billion users now, monthly active users. So, all right, let me read the article. If anybody wants to come on up and talk about this, just raise your hand. So over a month after Facebook announced it test blending Instagram Reels short-form video content with its main Facebook app, the company is ready to roll out fully in the U.S. Now the creators who use it can create Reels on Facebook, and Facebook is testing suggestions that will push the videos to its users. A big part of the Reels effort is appealing to the people who make entertaining content, and with its newsfeed, Facebook can offer potential levels of exposure that are bigger than anyone else, including competition like TikTok and Snapchat. So to drive the point home, Facebook announced a Reels Play bonus program, which will invite certain creators to get paid based on their performance of their Reels. Interested parties can sign up for the bonus program, but even if you're not yet a pro at going viral, you can still create a Reel on Facebook. If you're not familiar with the feature that Instagram over the years, it's very similar to TikTok, with tools for you to easily edit videos with your own audio or popular song clips from the library, AR effects, and stitching. It's getting exhausting keeping up to date with all of these platforms. And
I just want to say that like at some point, can't all the platforms just morph into one like mega platform? You know, we had Mega Made in that old cult classic movie. Can we just have mega platform where we just have all of our favorite features on one platform? It seems like all the platforms are crossing over and reaching and trying to touch each other's most favored features. It is just getting a little disifying, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't. When we have that, then of course, antitrust and everything. Like we're already worried about Facebook being too much of a monopoly. I'm shocked that they haven't had the antitrust police coming after them, like full on. I mean, with this, their tie-in with Oculus, their WhatsApp. I mean, it's getting a lot, and of course, then privacy, data, all that is an issue. But I mean, like, different platforms, there's, people prefer different platforms for different purposes. And Facebook being such an skewed now an older audience, as opposed to the TikTok, which is skewing younger, but of course they're aging. Snapchat is still leader. It still leads over TikTok, but that's going to change. But Snapchat, what they've been doing is like they've been upstreaming like people to like age. So it's like if you were down there 5-6 years ago, as you go older, they've been adding services in there to actually kind of grow with you. So that's helping create, stickiness in that aspect. So all right, but hey, Eli, since you're there, it's our favorite time of the show.
Big green dot hits the spot.
The big green dot, it does hit the spot. It's now time for our Spotify Spot, where we take a look at the latest updates from the streaming service. But before we do that, we want to check in with your weather. Make sure that you always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. And now over to you, Peter. What do you have for us from Spotify land today?
Right on. This is from Music Ally. Spotify may withhold royalties for artificial streams. If artists and their teams needed another warning not to pay companies promising to artificially inflate their streaming numbers, Spotify is providing it. A new video produced by the Spotify for Artists teams lays out the potential punishments. Quote, "We have a huge team of engineers and researchers working on detecting, mitigating, and removing artificial streaming activity across Spotify so we can protect artists and their legitimate streams." It goes on, "When we detect artificial streams, we may do things like withholding royalties and correct streaming numbers and chart positions. It may even result in your music being removed from Spotify. Third-party services that promise crazy streams are too good to be true. The punishments are having one unintended consequence, and this is according to Music Ally. They say, we heard recently about an artist beef that escalated into buying artificial streams for one another's music as unsubtly as possible in the hope of getting the rivals punished. How Spotify and other DSPs police that sort of thing will be interesting to watch." All right, and that does it for the reads. Let's open up the stage to our audience. Let me put like 3 minutes on the clock here. And if you'd like to offer your thoughts or comments about today's topics, now is your chance to join the conversation. Go ahead, press that, raise your hand if you'd like to join in about something. And as we're doing that, yeah, the Spotify thing, I mean, how many times in the past have you thought about adding one of your enemies to like some email list or something like that, so they just get spam mail? I mean, this is the fact that you're buying plays for somebody else and hoping that they get punished for it. I mean, that's the gloves are off at that point.
It's a throwdown. And now we welcome Rachel to the stage. Rachel, did you have a comment for us?
Yeah, thank you so much. What a great show today, and I'm glad I got here a little bit earlier than I thought I could. So I was just thinking about the emotional thing, the AI thing. What was it? That Quincy Jones' company that got acquired. That was interesting to me because it sounded like they would be detecting our emotions or something. I wasn't really sure, so I'll be looking into that. I found that pretty interesting. And then the other thing I thought was interesting about some of the stories you read was, yeah, of course, the wellness from Sony. That's pretty relieving to see that there are some cool changes happening in that realm. I thought that was great. The other thing that I missed, though, was and I'm going to go to the show notes in a minute, but the Atmos, how many people are actually using that? That was a large number that I was surprised to hear that as well.
Yeah, let me find that. I'm going to dig up that number because we had that article yesterday. Let me pull that up.
Okay.
So it was talking about, the Atmos for today, but a number of people using it. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
Because I wasn't really sure how many people were actually using these kind of next level, like we're trying to get better and better quality and give a better experience to people. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure how many people were actually catching on to things like 5.1 and Atmos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess more people than I thought.
Yep. I just found the article, and if anybody else wants to actually look it up, you can go to yesterday. If you go to musicindustrycity.com and go to yesterday's music industry news at noon post, you'll get the direct link, and it's from Music Ally. It says, the title is more than 40 million Apple Music listeners have tried spatial audio. So yeah, so it's I mean it's a little challenging to calculate that as a percentage of overall Apple Music users, but that's that's what they're going for. And based on that, Media Research recently estimated that Apple Music has 77.9 million subscribers. So that's we're talking about more than just about half. Just around half of the Apple Music subscribers. So, does anybody have, thank you for that, Rachel. And is there any more? I know we put 3 minutes. I can put another 2 minutes on the clock before we wrap up. If anybody else wants to join the stage.
Okay, I see Kevin is coming back to the stage. Kevin has a comment for us.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me back. No, I was for what Rachel just said, and Peter maybe can chime in on this too. I just feel like maybe those numbers are a little skewed because like it's not like you get an option, right? Like I have Apple Music, and you don't just get to like click, hey, I want to use Dolby Atmos, and it comes up there. It's like lossless audio. That's automatic. If you have like if you're tethering at like the high speed rate, or if you're on a Wi-Fi connection, the spatial audio and the Dolby Atmos, it's all kind of like it just comes along if it's available on the thing, and you have like Apple AirPods or Beats audio headphones. It kind of just comes in standard. So I don't know if those numbers are it's not like you opt into it.
It's kind of like getting a U2 album delivered into your iTunes from Apple. You didn't opt in, it was there, and then it counts as a number.
Oh, that's painful. That hurts right there, Peter. That absolutely hurts. The U2 album that appears on your phone. Don't forget that if you have any more comments for us on our headlines that we have covered today, you can feel free to join the stage or to comment in the video chat. And don't forget to visit our website if you have any questions about the articles that we have covered today. Let's see. We have Ray joining the stage. I'm having trouble bringing Ray up. I apologize. Let me try again.
Well, Kevin, hey, one question: what do you use as your earbuds?
I use Beats.
Mm-hmm. And
so I have like the Beats Pro 3 or whatever, like the active wear ones.
Got it. Yeah, what we're seeing is, another thing that's also coming out, and we're going to see what happens with Spotify with all of this as well, because now they're launching an initiative called Spotify Tap, which is a feature that's being included in headphones from companies like Samsung, Bose, Microsoft, Skullcandy, Jabra. And basically, it's you pop on the headphones or the earbuds, and you tap on them to start playing whatever they were last listening to on Spotify. And I'm sure this is something that's not going to be found on Apple, unless it's it's the Apple and puts it into their AirPods or whatever, their product line. But that's going to be another thing from the Spotify side, and how they're going to start implementing with their Atmos and spatial audio.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I think spatial audio is the future. Oh, go ahead, Eli.
No, I was just going to say that's incredible, the amount of consumer choices on the market. Please go ahead, Kevin. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, just like spatial audio, even like on an app like this, like on Clubhouse, the spatial audio is a big thing. But I think that the spatial audio tech, when this app came out and it blew up the way that it did, that was kind of like the major indicator, like, hey, start putting your money in places that have to do with audio technology companies, start investing there, because this was like the first integration of like, okay, sound, and we watched gradually the sound here get better. When Green Room came out, the sound there was much better, and it had like a noise gate. And so there's all these adaptations that are happening, and I think that when we start to jump a little more into the metaverse, and we're hitting the spatial audio with the AR and the VR, spatial audio is going to be huge. So I just feel like, hey, get in now while you can. I think that all of this sonic stuff is a very big indicator.
Spatial audio, the wave of the future, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I love about spatial audio now, for me, I honestly can say I don't love the spatial audio in Clubhouse. And there's a couple things and a couple reasons, and I'll tie this in with the metaverse. and from VR and being out there in the metaverse and jump world hopping. When you are in VR and you can turn and look at somebody. So if you're, how everybody goes to a reception, a party, and everybody goes off into their circles. So when somebody's speaking to you on your right, you can hear them a little bit more out of your right ear, and then you turn and you look. In VR and metaverse, it's really easy to do that. That's the cool thing. It's like you hear the sounds as you're walking closer to somebody, walking closer to the group, or somebody yells from across the room. It's amazing. That is fantastic what they've done. And it is such a challenge, especially in the metaverse and XR and VR. It's like that spatial audio is real tough algorithms, but they're, it's great. Now, I'm on Clubhouse and I have my earbuds in. I feel like I'm more talking on a phone in a sense, or a podcast. Now, if you're over there to my right, I don't want to hear you out of my right ear because I'm not even looking at the phone. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I could be lying down on my couch. I don't care where you are in reference to me in the Clubhouse room. I actually would rather hear you come out of both, equally out of both speakers. I don't care. Mono
in
signal.
stereo.
Oh, just give me a mono feed. I don't care where you are. It's saying that, for you, it's like all of a sudden if you're on my right, then I hear a little bit out of my right. It's like that's not balanced. And for people that listen to Clubhouse in a car, so if they're driving and they have their 7-1 whatever system they have, and they just want to listen like they're listening to their podcast, it is this spatialized audio of people in the room. If they're in the driver's seat, do they care what speaker it's coming out? They probably want to hear it more coming out of the center and left speaker anyway, instead of like what happens if somebody switches all the way to the right speaker or the back right speaker, whatever they're doing. I just feel for apps like this, this personal opinion, and I'm sure, it's just like everybody else has their own opinion about it, but I just find that having it just straight up the middle is perfectly fine.
I agree with you, and I don't know if this is due to the spatial audio or if it was just the way that your setup was, but in the beginning of this show, so I've been listening on headphones the entire time. In the beginning of this show, I couldn't hear you out of my left ear, but I could hear Eli out of both. And then about halfway through, you came into my left ear. I don't know if you changed anything or not, but yeah, or if it had to do with the spatial audio.
Yeah, so that wasn't me at all, but watch this here. I'll actually pull up a test here for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go what's output left speaker. So I'm in my left speaker only, so I'm bringing up the right output volume. That's now full, both equally up. Now I'm going to dip down my left channel output, and that is going to be, so it should be only out of my right channel. Now, you might not hear spatial, but did you hear a change?
I don't think I did.
Okay, so so I'm sending out it's stereo signal here. It's capturing a stereo, so I'm moving left. My channel outputs here are changing, and so I don't know if you can even hear that. So somebody did the other day. They said it doesn't sound like you're going left or right, but it does sound like you're doing something.
Hey, Peter, it's Rachel. I just wanted to comment on this stereo thing on Clubhouse because I noticed that last night that I think I could be wrong, but I think Clubhouse is automatically doing some kind of panning depending on who comes in and what. But yeah, for some reason it's not. And I think it also depends on audio quality, high or normal, and that switches things. But I've noticed some changes in Clubhouse where it does do some interesting panning with voices. So you never know.
Yeah, well, actually, now that you mentioned, I'm looking at my meters when you're speaking, and you are left heavy, and you are on you're below and to the left visually, and when you speak, you're a little left heavy on my meters. And Kevin, if you want to speak, let's see where you're at.
Yeah, I'm speaking right now. Hi. Any difference?
Yeah, so you're a little more to the right. Eli, hey, thanks everybody for joining us for the news, by the way. And
thanks for joining us for our mic check here, our spatial audio mic check. Don't forget that you can find this headline about spatial audio and so many more on our website, musicindustrycity.com. We are doing spatial audio mic checks today here in the music newsroom at noon.
So if anybody in the audience has any thoughts they want to come on up and talk about before we wrap, I mean, we're just going a little overtime. But so, Eli, just speak again for a second so I can just check where you are in my meters here.
All right. Mike, check. Cash, credit,
Yep.
money order, check.
Yeah, so you're pretty even. It's just a slight touch to the right, but yeah, I mean, this is really interesting. You know, we could sit here and just open up a room. Let's like everybody get up here and let's do a spatial audio mic check, and
It's
we'll map
interesting,
it
Peter,
out.
because you said left for Eli, but Eli was coming in on the right side for me. So interesting.
Exactly.
Interesting. This and many more nerdy, awesome music topics right here in the music news at noon. So many amazing musicians and music industry professionals in this room. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We're starting to wrap up our newsroom for today. And we want to thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're tuning in audibly or on the video live stream. And thank you so much to Kevin and Rachel and everyone who has joined us here as part of the discussion today. We hope that you'll join us each and every Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. You can feel free to spread the word. Make sure that you visit musicindustrycity.com to stay up to date on all the current happenings in the music industry. You can post in the community and access other amazing resources. My name is Eli Window, and on behalf of my co-host Peter Schwing and all of our guests today, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Peter, over to you as we wrap today's show.
All right, thank you again. Thank you, Kevin and Rachel, for joining the conversation. Fun. What a fun way to end the program in overtime there. A couple announcements. If you're registered with musicindustrycity.com, and it's free, you're probably going to get an announcement from me. I will be speaking at the Coliseum conference in just outside of Moscow. But I'm not actually going to physically be there. But the Coliseum is going to be this Saturday. Also, October 14th through the 16th, and this is a huge news, and this is part of the Power of Indie Virtual Conference. Music Industry City, we're doing our Music Industry City Future Music Forum session. So we take over the day on October 14th. That's Thursday, October 14th. And we have a whole lot of great programming in store for you. We have talking about, the hybrid live events between live streaming. We have one of the booking talent buyers from the Exit Festival. We have Randy Nichols, Moment House Under Oath manager. He's going to be on there. We have a few others. We're going to be talking NFTs and blockchain. Some great people. We're going to be talking about sync. We're going to be talking about health and wellness. We're going to be talking about VR and A&R. And Martin Atkins, if you're familiar with Martin Atkins, we're going to be doing a thing called the mic drop. So he's going to get up there. I'm just going to introduce him. He gets 10 minutes to go. He's going to let it rip. So if you're not familiar with Martin, you should become familiar with Martin. Wonderful man, inspirational, motivational, gives you a friendly kick in the ass. And that's going to be it. So you can go to musicindustrycity.com. You can see the big flyer there. You can register for free. There are limited free tickets available for that event. And we hope to see you there. We're also making a huge announcement during our opening session during that day. And that does it for the Music Industry News at noon on this Thursday from New York. We'll see you tomorrow. No, we're not going to see you tomorrow. We're going to see you tomorrow if you're in the morning show for the artist shout-outs. I forgot today's Thursday. I just read it and I still can't remember. But Monday we'll be back with the news. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Peter Schwing. And for all my colleagues, have a rocking day. Cheers.
Thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. I hope you have a great day and an entirely great weekend. Don't forget to join us for the morning show tomorrow, and we'll see you on Monday for the news.